Hello and welcome to Mia, the Passion Muse Show. I'm your host, Mia Saenz Whitmore. And right next to me is Victoria Wynn from The Lies I Tell Myself. Welcome, Victoria.
Thank you, Mia.
I'm so grateful to have Victoria here because I love the Lies Project. It really makes us check in with ourselves on everything that doesn't make sense, and that's how we get past it. And so this week we're going to talk about money, and the lies that are related to money, the lies that we tell ourselves about money.
I'm excited for this show since I've done a lot of work on it myself. And you know how that works. Once I start figuring things out, I want to go and share it.
Yes. Which is very important because money is a fearful topic for most of our society. It truly is, because everything is evolved around how much can I make, how much can I buy, can I feed my kids, can I feed myself. I really would like to have a little bit more luxurious home. I want a better car. I need new clothes. All these things are, they're voices that are just like floating around our planet. If we could hear what everybody was saying, besides going absolutely insane listening to it, but most of it would be about a need coming from needing more money that somebody is looking for.
I think one of the biggest questions is, what do I say about myself regarding how much money I have? That's where everything gets messed up. Identifying ourselves with what $5,000 means to us or $10,000. I mean, it's all relative, and it's all it's our own opinions, and what it turns into oftentimes is lies. So if I make $300,000 a year, our ego can get in the way, and that's not enough because my buddy is making twice that, or look how cool I am, and ego just gets so in the way of the money topic. So we'll definitely delve into that. And when I say ego, that just ties right into lies, because our heart, our true self, is not saying these things. Our true self comes from gratitude and wanting to give back and serve and
love, and exactly.
Embrace, and the thought of abundance instead of comparing or squashing people down because I'm so high on the money scale.
Right. Well, it comes from that ego base comes from also, besides an inflated ego, but it also comes from a sense of lack, I think. I have talked to people about this topic because it doesn't make sense to me. I've always been able to manifest what I've needed, always. And so I remember having a guest on, and we were talking about money and manifesting. And when he said that he was jealous of a neighbor who got a new Jaguar, I was shocked because I would not be jealous of my neighbor. I would be grateful that my neighbor had that. Not only do I know that brings me gratitude, brings alignment, and everything is ours, I just can't imagine not being happy for somebody for having something beautiful.
Yeah, so you're rare. That's not the common attitude when somebody is driving their Jag.
Apparently not.
No. I think it's pretty common to compare. And I do have to say there's so much peace in what you're talking about. I have a friend that his home, I think, is about 50,000 square feet. I don't know. I've only seen a piece of it, and that small, tiny piece feels enormous. Yeah. Like this gorgeous Italian villa is how they've done it. And a lot of stuff imported from Italy. And I have to say, it's not my job to judge why someone would, want that. The awesome thing is that family does so much to give back to the community and to the world. And if we don't take a moment to be open, you would never know that because you'd be too busy in your head judging what basically because I feel small, therefore I tend I squish people down. It's so common. But yeah, I mean they do amazing things with their money and with that property that they built. and been in service to me with it. So I love that you have that attitude. It's not a common one, and if we can help to spread it around, then aren't we going to be a lot more loving to one another? You know?
Right. I guess I've going through this whole self-love thing, I've discovered that I'm not common, and I love it, and I like it. I love that, because I was always a defender of kids when I was young. I was never jealous of people, blah, blah, blah. But, so wonderful. I guess I'm just one step, in a different direction than everybody else. That's okay.
Yeah. Well, everybody's unique, and everybody's at their different place, and there's things that you learn from other people that maybe hasn't been such an easy flight for you, and that.
Right. Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
what are some of these lies? Tell us the list of them, and I know that you have to look at your notes, and then we'll break them down and get through the lie.
Yeah, let me glance down here. I jotted down a few of the biggest lies that clients come to me about that have to do with money. Let's see. So there's not enough to go around. I have to compete for it. I'm not smart enough to make it. They don't pay me enough. Big one. I'm single and can't make it on my own. That was mine. And chasing money is the only way I know how to get it.
Okay.
Those are the biggies.
So what's the first one again?
There's not enough to go around.
Okay. There's not enough to go around. That is so living in lack. It really is. And until you get to the point where you can see the difference between getting outside of the box that we're placed in, the ideas, getting outside and living outside that box, it's going to feel very heavy and burdensome. One of my dearest friends, a male, is always feeling lack, and because I love him, it doesn't bother me, but yet it kind of does. And sometimes recently I started teasing him that, that's not really good for the chicks, because they might not find that as groovy.
No, we don't.
But if you can get outside of that and just take a few moments to see how that would feel, and go with your heart and how things feel, so that you can work through getting outside of those steps about lack.
Well, I think of it in a more simplistic way. I look at the world all around me, and I see all this money, and I think, if I just had a small piece of that guy's treasures, my family would be set, and there wouldn't be any problems with the grocery bills. So all I have to do is look around. If Hugh Grant can make all that, then that tells me that the world can support it.
The world can support it, but I think the bottom line is it's your divine right to have that too, to have your supplies. And when you understand that within, that's where, things... Beautiful. Sorry. Things divinely open up, though. Seriously, they do. Because
They do. And I'm just mocking you.
Yes, I know. You're playing with me.
Just telling you the way I look at it, plain and simple. If these people are making millions and billions of dollars, that just tells me, it's just a reality check, that our world has plenty. Absolutely, there's a spiritual side of abundance, and knowing that each one of us is worthy and we're deserving to have food, to have shelter.
Yes. And security and safety and feeling nurtured and loved. And it comes from, it's funny because you said the spiritual side. Well, that's what gives me my peace. And so that's a proven fact that among myself and others who think like me, I've seen people do extraordinary things or have money come in the mail that day when they've absolutely needed it from something that was owed to them 10 years ago. I mean, crazy, crazy stuff. It's like, whoa, the manna sure does fall from the sky,
Yeah, and the weird thing is, that happens especially when we let go.
Yes.
Of the chasing and the fighting for it.
Right.
it is an interesting concept. I've had to switch. I was on the other side of the pendulum. I was in the scarcity, especially of a single mom with 5 kids. That my whole story, and
that was your fear.
Yeah, the story that I built up in my head was, I can't do this on my own. So I went from that side of the pendulum to this other side of, what if, and I'll tell you who my mentor is that taught me this, but what if I just go out there and create value, then will the money follow? And here's the cool thing, is letting go of the second part of that sentence, just going out there and creating value, and at your job, doing the best job that you can at whatever it is. So to get back to the main lies, I know the second one was juicy. Oh, I have to compete for it. I was also at the other end of this. Man, I've grown a lot, because that was another big one for me. And I'm sure not you, because this has come easy for you, but I've had to really do so much work on that there is enough. And for instance, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, you and I having this conversation, I would think, oh man, she has her own web TV show. Oh man, it's all the comparing, and not realizing that we can all come together and unify and help each other and soar so much faster. When I should say this, I soar so much faster when I come from a place of service. It's a huge shift.
Right, which is love and giving, isn't it?
Yeah, and if our viewers and listeners haven't tried it, even just try it for a week.
Or a day. Don't be afraid, a day.
Starting your sentences out with, how can I serve you? What can I do for you? I actually started out with just the day when I heard about that concept of starting conversations out with, hi, how are you? What can I do for you?
And you might scare people. So just know that when you produce it in love, that it should continue that way. And also, it's opening doors for people. It's, hi, how are you? Have a beautiful day. If you meet somebody in an elevator, it's whatever you can give. The beauty between each other is a magnificence.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's an overall shift. Gratitude and giving instead of, what can you do for me? What can you do for me? Again, on that second one, I hear it a lot from clients, and I lived it on my own. Competition. And I tell you, my career has soared since I've met incredible men and beautiful ladies that I support and that support me. Without condition.
Right.
Without, what will you do for me?
Right.
It's been so cool. That's how you got together.
I know. I loved your project, and it's like, oh my gosh, I got to know more about it. Yeah.
Thank you. And I was like, oh my gosh, she has such just high positive energy. I got to be around that more.
Oh, thank you. And that's been about 1.5 years.
Yeah.
Which is very cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's been a huge blessing. So what are some of the other lies that people keep telling themselves?
Well, blah, blah. I know I had a big list. Oh, here we go. So there's not enough. I have to compete for it, and I'm not smart enough to make it.
That's a sad one. That is so sad, because that is just somebody telling them growing up that they're not smart.
Yeah. Somewhere along the lines, they believed that lie.
And it's crazy, but I see it from a mom, coming from a mom. And I think that from birth I must have been a mom, because that's why I was a defender of people growing up, because it breaks my heart to hear that, because I see the child, I see the young person being told that they're not good enough. When my son's second grade teacher, and I didn't know till the end of the school year, that she was telling the boys, y'all are so stupid. Oh my heavens, you just don't do that to children. And he believed it because he was smart. And he's like, okay, she's the teacher. She's, a grown up. She's gone to college and she must know. In the second grade, things are set in our mind. So yes, we are all smart enough to make whatever we want.
Well, it's something I posted on Facebook today, that if you've got two things, one you all know you have, which is everybody has some special gifts and special abilities unique to each of you. And if you want to argue that, then you email me, victoriawynn.com. I will argue right back, and I will find your gifts. It's just, some people really want to fight for it. So,
Fight for the negative, you're saying.
they want to fight for the negative. So anyways, I'll fight back.
Yeah.
And so we all have gifts, one, and two, if you can just work hard, just persevere with those two things, there's no reason you can't be abundant and make money, which obviously in our world right now, you need it, and I get that. So though it's a spiritual topic, there's some reality here, right. And again, I'd like to hear your thoughts. I really think you just need your two things: yourself and perseverance.
You do, and money can come in many different forms and from many different ways. I give a lot of work away, and I stopped doing a lot of that because I've been told, you're not giving to yourself, you're not valuing yourself. But I have money coming in other ways. So if you have enough, continue to give. It doesn't matter. When you put out to the universe that you need perhaps more for whatever, it'll show up. It'll show up in the most mysterious ways. It's having faith and love and truth with yourself. The confidence that we talked about in the body image. It's with faith, with truth. Knowing.
Agreed. So to hit on our list, they don't pay me enough. The victim story. That was their big victim story. Well, of course, they don't call it a victim story. I'm just like, victim. And so I just challenged him to take some time, meaning don't just work on it a day, but an extended period of time, and create more value. It's been the coolest thing. So happy. He just wasn't aware that consciously aware that he wasn't putting 100% into it. And it didn't take him long, maybe a week or so, to realize that he had been shortchanging his company by not putting his all into it. And then further down the line, of course, he got that raise and did get more comfortable at work. But it had to begin with his, having a good attitude at work, doing his job to the best of his abilities, going the extra mile when he could. Those things changes people's worlds, changes my own world.
Right. Yeah, that's beautiful. It really is developing self-value and self-worth when they take the steps that you just mentioned, because when they're saying, I don't make enough, I'm not valued enough, they're hearing that again, the talk, the chatter from wherever it comes from, childhood or whatever. And a lot of people, it took me years to be able to say, I could stand up for somebody else, but stand up for myself and say, I need X, Y, and Z, I couldn't do it. I could make you a movie star, Victoria, if you wanted to be one, because I have faith and I knew I could, but I couldn't do that for myself until I finally could. You know that saying, we don't know what we don't know until we know it. Yeah.
I was in the same boat. I worked so hard for other people and knew I could and believed I could, and made them lots of money. And then I looked at myself and just said, what is going on here? And again, of course, there were lies mixed in. Lies that that kind of abundance was for other people. Still doesn't feel good to hear myself say that. Why I really, I dug to the bottom of what is going on that I can make all these other people money as a marketer, not myself. And that's what it came down to for me.
Yeah.
So, The last item on the list, I want you to run with it. I love the topic too, but it's about how chasing money is the only way to get it. And you and I both disagree with that. But not only that, we love the idea of manifesting. Mm-hmm. So I know that you used to be a manifesting coach and give people tools on how to do that. So I'd love to hear tips and tools for that specifically.
All right. Now, I remember reading these, but I didn't hear exactly what you said because we went in and out, and I'm sure it's okay. The quality, what was the question again?
Well, the lie is chasing money is the only way I know how to get it.
Okay, so. Right, okay. It's funny because when we chase anything in life, anything, a girl, a boy, a dog, a cat, it runs, doesn't it? It runs away. And when we know that we're confident enough in ourselves and our abilities and our love, things flow to us. The cat wants to be with us. The dog wants to come home. That cute boy over there likes me. You know, whatever it is. And so it all, when you stop the chasing and allowing yourself to open up to the, again, I'm going to get spiritual here because that's who I am, but allowing yourself to open up to the divine, meaning I know Mia is in alignment with God. This is how I talk to myself. I'm in alignment to the divine, and I'm his reflection. So if I'm his reflection, I have fundamentally everything that I need. Everything that I need. And if we live in that realm, that element of knowledge, how can we not get what we need? And it's not that what we need, but it's, people say what we deserve, what belongs to us. It's all the same thing. It's, our needs are continually met. When you keep your focus and your alignment on who you are as a person, you build up your confidence, your love. And you also know that, and you have to experiment with this in order to see it work, in order to realize, I've got the magic key, you know, to my needs. And so when I align myself in fully knowing that everything is mine because I am the reflection, I am part of Source, I am Creator, nothing can be left out. That means everything, food, cosmetics, clothing, happiness, relationships, the pets we were talking about running away down the street, everything that we divinely desire because they're beautiful in our life. They only increase it. They only make it more beautiful. That is our divine right to have, and that will be our right. If you were, I've had a client who's going through a big lawsuit. This was when I was working as a manifesting coach, and every morning we would talk and we would realign ourselves and know that we'd break down each step. Why was she to win this case today? How it would benefit her and her family, how divinely right that was. And she'd win each step of the way, because each step we would work through. So each step of your day, work through. You realize that you need a couple $100 more so that your child can go to camp this summer. Then you start to prepare your thought mentally. That is already there. I just have to see it. The money will come and the guidance will come to how it will be, because it's already, the universe is already perfect and complete. So God's law is already perfect and complete. And that's how everything comes smoothly into our life. Each step we just instantly click and clear, turn that key, that magic key, to each step. I'd like a new couch. First of all, you're putting it out to the universe. Secondly, you probably need a new couch because the old one's trash. That's your divine right to have something beautiful for you. It's as simple as that. But it's simple and it's complex, but it's not scary. Once you take the first step to realize why you deserve to have anything in life, happiness, joy, money, beauty, and beauty comes from the inside out. It's not from the outside. We are just human beings walking around, and we all kind of look the same, but because someone smiles brighter or because they know that they feel good, they shine differently. And so it's shining that light outward is what continually manifests our life along.
Yeah, and something that came up for me when you were talking is that for me, I've noticed that what I have in my life is what I believe I can have. I believe that I deserve, or whether the word is deserve or whatever you want it to be. I also know that the things that I haven't achieved yet, it seems to be that somewhere I've got some lies mixed in. And my words might say, I believe, I believe I can have this, or I believe that I should have that. But if deep inside I haven't cleared away the crud, and I don't really believe it, it's not going to happen.
It's standing on, as you were talking, and I was thinking about the client with the court case all the time, it's standing on principle for everything. It's principally correct for every human being to have all their supplies met. It's principally correct to enjoy and be happy. It's just as correct to have enough income in your bank account so that you can purchase what you need. And more. We don't have to have just the bare minimum. If you think you have to have the bare minimum to get by, you're going to have the bare minimum.
Like I said, it's a belief.
Yes, it is a belief.
It's not a belief.
It is a belief. And so it's what you believe. That's why we are told we are creators. We are source. And if you understand, those of you tuning in who are like, wow, this whole concept is really kind of out there but cool, write us. We're happy to help you. We're happy to steer you to books to help awaken and open your horizons. And part of the process is getting out of the belief system, the lie that we're telling ourselves about everything. I cannot have that car because why? Why can't you have that car? Too much money? You're not worthy? It's not in your region. What's the lie? If you step outside of the lie and see how false that is, that's when the floodgates of everything come in, because gratitude is there. All the other concepts of the lies dissipate. And so it's so fabulous that you came up with this, the lies I tell myself. I think that's why I love it so much. Because really, there's so much out there in our world that is a huge lie that's been told to us, and we believe it. I mean, do you want to believe false information, or do you want to believe the true you and be happy and walk around and just say, oh my gosh, it can't get any better than this? And then you find a way in which to be rejuvenated again. Wow, that connection to myself is so amazing. And again, it's not selfishness, it's self-love.
Right. And just thinking back as to where my stumbling blocks have been in relation to money, it seems to be that I had shame. Again, it has so much to do with, when I say it, abundance has so much to do with our beliefs about ourselves. So in the number that we have in the account, or the lack of number, and I've developed beliefs that I'm just not good enough, or I'm not worthy, because I am struggling in that moment, and then the shame hits in, and then I feel like a terrible mom, and then I feel like, well, I shouldn't date, certainly not remarry, because I'll just be a weight, and the lies, the spiral goes on and on and on, and I've been considering, so with the group 50 Shades of Lies, those are lies developed or based on sex and intimacy and relationships. I am wondering, Mia, and we'll brainstorm on air for a second, but when I have talked publicly about lies surrounding money, it seems that people are watching the videos, but they don't want to engage and talk about it. And I'm almost wondering if I need to create a second closed group that's based on lies about money.
That would be great. That would absolutely be great.
That might help people to feel it's a smaller group. It's not the whole World Wide Web that's reading their stuff, their junk. But anyways, that just came to me a few days ago. Here's
the title for it: The Lies I Tell Myself About Think and Grow Rich. That's
so funny because I mock authors a little more than you do, and so mine was Rich Lies, Poor Lies. That was one of my ideas. But I mean, not mock. I mean, he's Robert Kiyosaki, fabulous, right?
Yeah.
Lots of great concepts. But anyways, just because I'm kind of obnoxious that way, I don't know what it would be called. I gotta have fun with everything, though. That I know.
Exactly.
But I bring that up because there seems to be fear and shame surrounding money.
Quietness, I think. Almost even more than sex. You know, we don't talk about, and boy, that goes centuries back. We don't talk about how much we make. That's rude. We don't talk about where we get our stuff. That's rude. You know, I'm remembering instantly, like this floodgate opened of scenes from movies, from old movies, or childhood and relatives, you know, people talking. You're absolutely right. There does need to be a breakthrough on that. Absolutely.
Yeah. Here's a great test to see where you're at and to see where your viewers are at. If I were to ask you, how much debt do you have and how much is in your checking account right now? How does that feel? How does that feel to even think about sharing it? And how do those numbers feel to you? If you've got any negativity about it, I'd suggest to delve into some lies that might be hidden in there.
Right. Well, the thought is to say it publicly. Is it not enough or is it too much? You know, which would be, I guess, the concern of what others think, which is a falsity right there. When you allow your thoughts to go towards what others would think. So you absolutely have to do that page, and hopefully by the time this airs, you'll have that up and going because we're out of time.
That sounds good.
So thank you so much, Victoria, for joining me this week with the lies about money that we tell ourselves.
Thank you.
That I tell myself, you tell yourself. Right.
I'll have you on that page for some manifesting tips and tools, too.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful, good. And also I'll be doing I have a manifesting program coming out with a partner, so everybody look for that too.
Sweet.
All right, we'll see you all next week. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.